Good afternoon, everybody. We are into our final session of the day, student speakers. This is probably my favorite part of the conference because we actually get to see what the next generation can do. So just to give you some updates about format, each student has 15 minutes to give a presentation on their work. Each student will get 2 questions, and we will judge who is the winner of these questions. So I encourage everybody to ask them questions. Remember, they are students, so don't be too nasty. It's not like you're talking to me. And then once we've done this, Neil and I from Medtronic is going to be kind enough to come up and say a few words about the sponsorship that they give, which we're very, very grateful. So thank you, Neil. And after that, I'll do a very quick wrap up, and then it's time for swimming pool and beers, because I think everybody's earned it who's been here for the last 4 days. So without further ado, I'd like to start off by welcoming Hafsa Ikram, who is a Hofstra University student, to talk about aortic root replacement techniques. Welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Hafsa Ikram. I'm a second-year graduate student in the cardiovascular perfusion program at Hofstra University. Thank you for the opportunity to present today. Thank you to our program director, Ed Delaney, our mentor for this project, Dr. Omar Jaral, my peers, Skyla and Tim, without whose support this project would not have been possible. Today, I'll be presenting on the reoperative aortic root replacement techniques, with a focus on how different surgical approaches impact patient outcomes in complex reop cases. I'll briefly review the techniques followed by our data set, operative metrics, outcomes, and key takeaways. Reoperative aortic root surgery is technically challenging due to dense adhesions, distorted anatomy, and prior grafts. These increase operative complexity and lead to longer bypass and cross-clamp times. The goal is to minimize ischemic time while optimizing end organ protection. These are the primary surgical approaches used in reoperative aortic root replacement, along with the coronary reimplantation strategies that we evaluated. The Bentall procedure replaces the aortic root and valve with a composite graft with the coronaries reimplanted using the button technique. Bentall is a durable and standardized option widely used in complex root pathology, but requires valve replacement and may involve lifelong anticoagulation. The Corbel technique is used when direct coronary reimplantation is not feasible, using a Dacron graft conduit or SVG graft to connect the coronaries to the root. The Corbel procedure allows reliable coronary perfusion in complex anatomy, but increases operative time and carries less like graft complications. The David procedure involves the replacement of the aortic root with a Dacron graft while preserving the patient's native aortic valve. The main advantage of the David procedure is the preservation of the aortic valve, avoiding prosthetic implantation and lifelong anticoagulation, while maintaining near normal valve hemodynamics and excellent long-term durability in appropriately selected patients. However, the procedure is technically demanding, is not suitable for calcified, stenotic, or severely regurgitant valves, and carries a risk of late valve dysfunction requiring reintervention. Homograft replacement uses the donor aortic root with coronary arteries reimplanted using the button technique. Its key advantages include high resistance infection and near physiological valve hemodynamics, making it a strong option in complex infected or redo cases. However, limitations include restricted availability and size matching, as well as the potential for late structural degeneration over time. The Ross procedure replaces the aortic valve with the patient's pulmonary valve and reconstructs the right ventricle outflow tract with a homograft. The Ross procedure offers excellent hemodynamics without lifelong anticoagulation and strong outcomes in younger patients, but is a complex 2-valve operation with potential long-term complications. So this study includes 81 patients from 2011 to 2025 across 4 centers. 20 of the patients had prior root interventions, while 61 were index reoperations. The Bentall was the most common procedure, followed by the homograft, David, and 1 Ross case. Coronary techniques include button, classic Corbel, and SVG Corbel, with button technique used most frequently. These charts show the distribution of coronary and operative techniques by percentage. Primary operative metrics included cardiopulmonary bypass and cross-clamp times. Early outcomes focused on 30-day mortality, stroke, prolonged ventilation, renal failure requiring dialysis, and acute and late reoperation due to bleeding. Average operative times range from about 246 to 291 minutes, with the Ross procedure being the shortest and the homograph being the longest. Cross-clamp times range from 146 to 201 minutes, again with the Ross having the shortest ischemic time and homograph the longest, while Bentall showed the greatest variability overall. Cardiopulmonary bypass and cross-clamp times were longest with the classic Cabral technique, intermediate with the SVG Cabral, and shortest with the button technique. 30-day mortality, there were no deaths in the homographed, Ross, or David groups. All observed mortality occurred in the Bentall group with a 30-day mortality rate of 14.2%, representing 8 deaths among 56 patients. The button technique had a mortality rate of 13.2%. The classic Cabral technique was 9.4%, and no deaths were observed in the SVG Cabral group. The overall mortality was 9.8%. Stroke occurred in 5.6% of homograph cases and 10.7% of Bentall cases, with no strokes observed in the Ross or the David groups. Stroke occurred in 7.9% of button cases, 9.4% of classic Cabral cases, and 9.1% of SVG Cabral cases. Prolonged ventilation rates were 38.9% in homograph cases, 26.8% in Bentall, and 16.7% in David procedures, with none in the Ross group. By coronary technique, prolonged ventilation occurred in 13.2% of button techniques, 53.1% of classic Cabral cases, and 36.4% of saphenous vein graft Cabral cases. Acute renal failure occurred in 16.7% of homograph cases and 23.2% of Bentall cases, with dialysis rates of 16.7% and 21.4% respectively. No renal failure or dialysis occurred in the Ross or David groups. By coronary technique, renal failure occurred in 7.9% of button cases, 31.3% of classic Cabral cases, and 27.3% of SVG Cabral cases, with similar trends in dialysis requirements. Bleeding-related acute reoperation occurred in 11.1% of homograph cases and 33.6% of Bentall cases, with late reoperation rates of 5.6% and 3.6% respectively. No bleeding-related reoperations were observed in the Ross or the David group. Acute reoperation occurred in 2.6% of button cases, 6.3% of classic Cabral cases, and 9.1% of saphenous vein graft Cabral cases, with generally low reoperation rates across all groups. This chart summarizes all endpoints by procedure and the coronary technique. Direct coronary button reimplantation is associated with shorter bypass and cross-clamp times, along with lower rates of prolonged ventilation, renal failure, and bleeding. When feasible, it represents a preferred technique due to its more favorable operative and post-operative outcomes. The Cabral technique is used in hostile reop fields or when coronary anatomy is unsuitable for direct reimplantation, such as scarred or aneurysmal or aorta. However, it is associated with longer operative times and higher rates of respiratory, renal, and bleeding complications. Both classic and SVG Cabral demonstrate increased complexity compared to the button technique, although SVG Cabral may provide additional flexibility in select cases. The David procedure is used in selected younger patients with aortic root aneurysm and a repairable native valve, especially when avoiding anticoagulation is desired. It offers excellent hemodynamics, but requires favorable anatomy. Homograph root replacement is primarily reserved for active infected endocarditis due to its resistance to infection. However, it is limited by availability and durability, and in our cohort was associated with longer operative times and higher early complication rates, likely reflecting greater case complexity. Surgical decision-making in reop technique is highly individualized, driven by pathology, anatomy, and patient-specific factors. Complex reops often require techniques like Cabral due to adhesions and distorted anatomy. Age, comorbidities, and anticoagulation goals further influence the choice of valve-sparing or replacement strategies. Ultimately, the goal is to minimize ischemic time while tailoring the operation to each patient's needs. From a perfusion standpoint, key perfusion goals during these complex aortic procedures include protecting the brain and kidneys while minimizing inflammation and bleeding. This involves maintaining adequate perfusion pressure, oxygenation, and temperature control while reducing embolic risk through filtration and deurring. Additional strategies include ultrafiltration, careful volume management, balanced anticoagulation, and the use of cell salvage and antifibrinolytics to support organ protection and reduce bleeding complications. In Cabral procedures, myocardial protection is achieved through selective antegrade cardioplasia delivery directly into the coronary grafts. This involves reliable myocardial perfusion when standard delivery is not feasible. Cardioplasia may be given intermittently or continuously to maintain uniform arrest and prevent regional ischemia. Coronary perfusion pressures are typically maintained around 100 to 150 millimeters of mercury with myocardial temperatures below 15 degrees Celsius. Effective ventricular decompression is also critical to prevent distension and ensure uniform protection. So like any other study, this one also has several limitations. Subgroup sizes are small for less common procedures. There is inherent selection bias as technique choice is dictated by patient anatomy and pathology. As a multi-center study, variability in practice patterns may influence outcomes. Finally, results are limited to short-term outcomes without long-term follow-up. Coronary reimplantation strategies play a key role in ischemic time and early morbidity. The button technique offers the most favorable early outcomes when feasible. Cabral still remains essential in complex anatomy, though it carries a higher early risk. Ultimately, success depends on tailoring the procedure to the individual patient. Future work should focus on larger multi-center studies to validate these findings, particularly for less common procedures. Long-term follow-up is needed to assess durability, valve performance, and patient-centered outcomes. Improved risk stratification may help identify patients at higher risk for complications in rehab settings. Finally, continued technical refinement is essential to reduce ischemic time and improve perioperative outcomes. So our references. Thank you for your time and attention. I'll take any questions.
Well done. Now you can breathe. Any questions from the audience? Come on, be nice. I don't think you mentioned it, but what did you see in terms of cooling differences between the procedures?
That was not documented in the data that we evaluated.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Anybody? Thank you very much. It was a really nice presentation. What stood out for me was that all the mortality happened in the Ross group. Do you have any explanation for that, or do you know why that is?
No, so so the way this worked was we extrapolated this data from like 2,000 patients, but I have no explanation on why that happened. I just had the times for each procedure.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.